All right, you guys have been asking for it. We are going to learn how to make a hardcover rebind. Now we're using here the New King James single column, and this Bible actually comes in a set, King James 1611 with this New King James single column. But what's really cool about this one is it is the only sewn edition of the New King James single column. And even though it's a hardcover, it has gilded page edges. So this is just a really nice New King James Bible. So we're gonna start learning how to rebind and repair this Bible. So I'm wanting to preserve this liner. It's a really nice liner. Now I'm gonna do my best to try to find this material. I've seen this material before. I used to actually use it, but this was almost 10 years ago. So if I happen to find it, I will have it linked in the video. And this is a Bible I've never worked with, so I'm just trying to figure out how to take it apart without messing it up. So there's not necessarily a rhyme or reason. I just get my butter knife, which is one of my most important tools, and I just start trying to peel it away, just doing my best to not mess anything up. Just a little cleanup work here. And you guys are gonna get the full experience here. I don't have a microphone hooked up. It's just my iPhone. And so you're gonna get all the background sounds and noises. You're gonna get me breathing like I'm a dog. It's all gonna be in here. So we're just taking some numbers of what the original is, just as a reference. We might use it, we might not. We're not sure. So I wanted to slow down right here and show you guys how they did it. So when I'm rebinding a Bible, I'll look at how they did it and just take note and see if that's something I can do. So you can see it's cut off square on the corner, but it's not tight. They did not cut it all the way to the edge of that hardcover, that chipboard. So if you need to rewatch that, and you could see how they did it. So we were successful. We were successful not ruining this liner. The reinforcement is what I expected from a standard Bible. Not good, so we'll fix that. But the liner, we were able to save it, which is awesome. So we're just gonna start getting this spine taken apart. If I could reuse materials, I do. So we want to preserve this stuff. I might replace the ribbons, but let's get this spine cleaned. And there wasn't much on here, so just quick work of the butter knife, and we'll be good to go here. So we're using an awesome dark brown calfskin, and I'll share with you guys down below Italian skins in the link on Etsy. Best supplier for leather. I use 2 suppliers, Seagull Leather and Italian skins. Those are my main. I sometimes dabble in Rocky Mountain, but those are my 2 main sources. So now we're just getting our own numbers, getting our own measurements. We have measurements from the original cover. Now I'm going to take my own numbers because I want a point of reference. Now this is actually my first hardback. I knew I could always do it, I just never got around to it. So you are seeing me figure out how to rebind a hardback cover, even though I have a pretty good idea. I mean, I know how to put the thing together, I know how to make one. I've just never actually done it. So you're gonna see here, I started with my normal routine of making a Bible cover, but we're doing things different. So here's how I make a Bible that's going to be, you know, paste down. It's not going to be leather lined. It's not going to have 1/4 inch fold over edges. So 1/2 inch, and then another 1/2 inch mark, and then I do a 1/4 inch in between there, because we want to end up with a 1/4 inch overhang around the Bible. And I get a little lost here, but I get recalibrated, and there we go. We're back in business. There's my dad's phone ringing. See, I don't know why I'm breathing like a dog. I mean, you see me now, I'm not like... Maybe just when I'm focused, my heart rate goes up a little bit. When I'm thinking, I just start... I don't know why that is. Don't know why. So if the measurements is confusing you, I've posted on this Patreon how to do a paste down style cover, and I have broken down what I'm doing here measurements wise. So on a paste down style cover, we're not skiving the edges, so you could cut it right on that line. Just cut it right where you need it. Get our spine marked. 1 9/16. So why am I breathing like that? I don't know what that is, man. Must be my focus. So let's get it all marked out. So here's my numbers. Here what I would do if I was starting from scratch. But I want to reuse this hardcover material, this chipboard. So now I'm just comparing what I would do and what the existing has. And so now I'm just kind of processing. All right, we got different numbers here, and that's because the original didn't have a 1/4 inch overhang. It had like a 3/16, which made it to where what I did was exactly a 1/4 inch. So we had an 1/8 difference, and then I was just trying to figure out: do I want to replicate the original and use the original material, or do I want to use my own chipboard? And so I just kind of thought through, and so I landed on, let's use the original material, because most likely if you guys are going to start doing hardbacks, just to kind of minimize the process for you guys, if you're doing a hardback style cover, you're most likely rebinding a Bible that's already a hardback. So you could do exactly what I did here, which was when I took the cover off, I took measurements, and then I took apart the cover and just got the chipboard and reused the chipboard. So that's what I would advise doing, because it'll just make sure you're not going to kind of screw up as you're practicing. So I just made some adjustments to where the original chipboard now makes sense. And the other thing that was different is how long my cover ended up. So again, here I'm just kind of thinking through, should I adjust the cover, or should I kind of keep the number? I wish I could explain what I'm doing right here. I was thinking through, do I want to keep my numbers or should I make this cover a little bit longer, just a hair longer? And again, I just thought through, let's just stick with what original factory was. So I just adjusted what I did again. And on a hardcover, you want that space. You see how the spine and the gap from the chipboard, it's a little bit wider than a 1/4 inch, and you want it to be a little bit wider so that you have that impression. All right, see that impression? So that's what I was doing right there. If I had the cover longer, this would have been kind of a deeper impression. And because I've never done a hardback before, I wasn't sure which way to take it. If I should keep factory or if I should. So I was just trying to think in my head, how do what should I do right here? You know, should I keep it what it was original, or should I make this a little bit tighter? And so I went with a little bit tighter, just a hair tighter. And so now we're replicating what they did on the corners, which was that straight. So here's some chipboard, which I will I'll link in the video, link down below, all supplies of some chipboard. You could get thicker, you could get thinner. I like to use the thinner stuff for the spine, the thicker stuff for the front and back. Use a little bit thinner stuff so that you have a little bit of flexibility, but it's still a hardback. So here I'm using a 1-inch ruler on top to get my first hub, and then using 1.5-inch wide ruler to mark out the rest. Get yourself some leather lace. That's the material I use on my spines. Look at that, nice and straight. Press them down, easy peasy. Now we're gonna dry fit it all, just to make sure we didn't completely screw up what we're doing here. Just a good dry fit on my new markings, which right here I'm getting all confused between my black lines and my white lines. So I'm like, oh, no, that's going down. Plus the camera's kind of right here, so I can't get over it. So I'm kind of working like away. So I'm just gonna cut the corners so that whenever I fold these edges over, I'm not fighting material. So I just cut those corners a little bit just to make it easier to get that sharp leather edge. Get some PVA glue and a brush. I've used this brush for over a year now, I think. Just make sure to always rinse it. And, you know, a $5 brush will last you a long time. So if you're going through brushes, you don't need to be doing that. If I have like a lot of gluing I'm doing within the next few hours, like I just pumped out a bunch of covers, I'll use a sandwich bag and a rubber band. Get your roller, smooth it all out. Let's get our spine. And again, all these lines are kind of messing me up, so bam. All right, we're good. Little tooly. Trying to get that chipboard to take shape and start to round out a little bit. that glue slowly starts to set on the spine. So I just, a few times I'll go over the hubs. Just as the glue dries, it'll just start to tool and form around that leather lace a little bit better. So there we go. Just making sure we're gonna be able to round out that spine. Again, this is my first hardback. This is my first hardback. So I'm just kind of figuring it out as we go here. So now we are ready to do the edges here. Do the foldovers, which again is super easy. I mean, paste down style Bibles and hardbacks are just hard in a different way. A leather-lined cover's pretty simple to me. I mean, there's not much, it's not complicated. But paste down style and hardback style, it's just, you gotta be pretty precise. But it's easy in different ways, like you could just fold over the edges. It's difficult because the process is a little bit more complicated. It's not as straightforward. So just put some glue and fold it down. Ain't much to it right here. I use my ruler because I want to really press it up against it. I don't want anything loose. I want that glue and that edge of that chipboard to be pressed together. And then I'll use my fingers to press it down and push it over just to make sure it's tight. We'll clean up those corners in a second here. Let's just get it folded over. Again, I'm pushing over. I want this tight. I don't want it loose. Get it nice and flat in there, just tooling it down. Just so it looks good. Clean up these edges a little bit. Get your little bone fold. Just start working it. And this lighter method, some leather it works really, really well. Some leather it doesn't. So this leather, it'll actually start to kind of heat it up and where you could work it and kind of move it. So it's just a way to get that fold a little bit tighter and closed in. Some leather doesn't do this. Some leather, it'll actually like separate it worse. So, but this calfskin's pretty thick. It's a little bit too thick. I maybe should have skived it, but it was okay. So if you use like a river grain, something that's thinner, whenever you do those corners, when you do those corners, you want to have like a slight, you don't want them, you could have them just meeting together, which you just got to have perfect, but you just have them overlap just a little bit, just a hair, just a 1/16, and it'll really make really nice clean corners. And then use your bone fold to like round it out and clean it up and make it look good. So see how it's really budging out at the beginning, and then I take some fire to it and press it and mold it, and it really takes it down. See how big it's out, how much it's out, and then that fire just shrinks it. It makes it to where it gets nice and flat and snug. Did I show it? Yeah, yep. See? Much better. Much better. All right, so now we're gonna do a quick dry fit. Let's see if I screwed up or if it's looking good. Look at that. It's perfect. It's perfect. It's awesome. I'm happy with it. See, I was thinking, do I want to have more of an extension on the original cover? But it looks good like that. It looks good. The next one I'll probably give it a little bit more of an extension. Maybe add a single gilt line right there. Maybe get some tools to add decorative tooling. So we'll improve as we do some more hardbacks. But my first hardback, I just wanted to accomplish the task at hand. Make a rebind, a hardback rebind, where the measurements are good, the way it feels and opens is good. You know, if there's any adjustments or tweaks, let's make the next one better before I start investing in tooling tools. So now I'm just gonna go to town on some tooling. I don't have any rhyme or reason. What would be cool? And that's what I'm doing. I'm just tooling it out. Nothing to it. I think that I did this 3 different times where I tooled it. I thought I was gonna be done. I thought of something else. I tooled it again. I thought of something else. I tooled it again. So beautiful thing. This little tooler right here, this little thing has been with me since day one. That is one of the first tools I ever bought. Same with that ruler, same with that bone fold. These are tools I have had for a decade. Used them every day. Now, originally, I was just going to keep the cover like this, like just super simple, super basic. But I decided last minute to add some stamping. But I thought it looked pretty cool just like this. I mean, with no stamping. If you got some decorative tooling bits, and I mean, you could just leave it like that and just make really cool designs on the cover. So next what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my ruler. And I'm just going to make some guidelines so I could do double tooled raised hubs. So that's all I'm doing here. Just giving myself some markings. This is not how I do it with a leatherline cover, but because if I laid the cover flat, the spine is thinner than the front and back. And usually I'll just take my ruler and I'll do this on the cover, but I couldn't do this on this. So I had to put it in the book press and mark out my lines. So I'm trying to burnish it at the same time, just 2 birds, 1 stone. Get that leather burnished and make a marking. See, now I'm just following those lines I made and making that second tooled line. That is about 1/8 away from the raised hub there. Very easy to do on a hardcover because you have that chipboard. So you just have a really solid surface to be working. See, there you go. So I might go over it a few times just to really make sure we got a nice impression. But look, that looks, I think the cover looks great just like that. I mean, just like that. Looks awesome. So now we're gonna do what I call the perfect bind. Now this, I can't do this on leather lined covers because the material's too thick. If I could find an even thinner, like this is about a 7-ounce canvas. If I could find like a 2-ounce canvas, I don't know if it exists, but if I could find something even lighter, I could do this with a leather lined cover, but it's way too thick for a leather lined cover. I know it is because I've tried it. I rebound a Bible with this thin canvas wrapping the spine, just like Cambridge does on their Bibles. And it was just too thick. So I'm still searching for a better material. So since this canvas is gonna wrap all 3 sides, I apply the glue on the sides also. I would usually put the ribbons under my reinforcement, but if I do that with this Bible, if somebody potentially wants to change the ribbons later on, it's still going to be pretty hard, but at least it'll be possible. Where if I put those ribbons under that duck canvas, they're never going to, it's going to destroy things. So it's going to be a mess. So that's why I did it this route this time. You don't want to use too much glue, all right? I'm using just what I need. If you do too much glue, you're going to have a super, it's already going to be stiff. So it's still going to open though. You know, it's not so stiff that you can't open it. So, right, it's still, especially after some use, you know, there's going to be some good flexibility there. Now you gotta forgive me, I was not planning on stamping it, and last minute I decided to stamp it. And I forgot to record me embossing the cover, so. But you guys have seen me many times stamp the cover, so hope you guys could forgive me this time. So we are gonna now install the cover. So I get the Bible lined up, and I put a piece of paper right under the liner. You'll see why in a second. A paper towel. Why am I saying a paper? A paper towel. And I use a little weight just so that we're not moving around. Just a little bit of protective measure here. So that's what that paper towel is protecting. so we don't get glue everywhere all over the Bible. Get that glue even so we don't have any globs. Now here's something I did, just thinking about a detail of what I wanted this cover to look like. So I'm adding a bead of glue right there because I wanted this leather to press down and really give me that impression right there. So it didn't really work. I think with a little bit thinner leather, it would have worked better to give me a really nice impression, but I think it worked a little bit. You know, you could see it's touching. The leather liner is pushed down and touching right there. So that's why I put that little bead of glue. And so we just touch the cover on the liner, and then I open it up and I just kind of adjust with my hands and just make sure we're nice and square. And this liner material, this book cloth, you got to be kind of careful to not ruin it. So I'm just trying to get the little bit of excess glue, but I'm not trying to mess with it too much. I'm trying to really just work it with my fingers to get it flat, and then I'll use my roller to get it flat. Because if I had vinyl, I could just use that paper towel to really press it all down, get it nice. So now I'm trying to work that leather to touch the edge of the chipboard where I put that bead of glue to get a nice impression. I was hoping it to be like really pronounced so it just looked awesome, but it worked. But I'll clean up that detail on my next one. I probably need more glue. I should have put a thicker bead of glue down. Because that space in between the spine and the chipboard, that gap that you see, I wanted that gap to be, it's over 1/4 inch. But if I put a nice thicker bead of glue on the edge of that chipboard and then press the leather, it would have closed up that gap a little bit, but still we would have a relief on the edges of the spine. But it would have made a really nice impression. So I'm going to fix that on the next one. A little bit too much glue on the liner, but if I wasn't making this video, I would have kind of just sat here and waited for the glue to dry a little bit more on the liner material. But so we can move ahead, let's just keep going. Get the excess glue off. There you go, guys. Here's my first ever hardback. I think it turned out amazing. It's awesome. It turned out way better than I thought it would. Nice, beautiful brown calfskin. Got an awesome book cloth liner. We got the perfect bind, nice edges, nice reveal, all even, all 3 sides, nice reveal. Opens up perfectly, opens up flat. There's no issues, man. Just, I'm really happy how this turned out. This calfskin leather looks so much cooler on a hardback than it does on a rebind. All right, I am excited and truly pleased with my first ever hardback rebind. I think it turned out really, really well. A few things I'm gonna improve upon my next one, but it's more cosmetic, and but it came out great. I'm very happy with it. I might sell it. I'm tempted to keep it because this Bible, the New King James single column, is just a very unique block, and being my first hardcover, so I don't know, I'm gonna think about it. I might list it for sale, I'm not sure, but I would love to hear from you down below, what you thought, your likes, your dislikes, and maybe some advice if you'd like me to improve on some things. But I hope it was helpful. So down below in this video, I'm gonna list all the supplies I can, where I got them, my sources, and then a few links to other videos to things like measuring, because I know it's kind of confusing when you're just watching it. So I'll link down below a video that we did on how to measure a cover. So there you go, guys. Super stoked about this. So man, thanks for watching. Thank you for being a part of Keep Preaching Patreon so that I could continue to build the ministry. So be blessed, guys. Bye-bye.